Would you like to reduce your net fleet fuel spend by 10 to 23%? Could you use that money in other areas in your company while reducing your carbon footprint at the same time? Click the link below and learn more. Hey everybody, welcome to FEI, Freight Executive Insights. I'm not the freight executive with the insights, but Carmit Glick is, and I tracked her down. She is in Israel this morning, and well, it's actually afternoon there, I suppose. But she is CEO and board member of Ship4wd, which is SHIP4wd, which is pretty cool. I like that. How are you doing this morning, Carmit?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you? Great
I
being
am.
here.
It's good to have you here. I've been trying to get you on for a little while, and I'm so glad that you accepted. And this is great because talking about maritime, I think right now is pretty key. What's going on around the world geopolitically, and obviously here in the United States as well. We just had a change, and
Yeah.
people are preparing for things that may or may not happen. But tell us about Ship4wd. What does Ship4wd do? Where are you guys at? Your visibility, and booking, et cetera, right?
Yes, so Ship4wd is a freight forwarder, a digital freight forwarder. We provide logistics service online. So everyone from anywhere can register for free, log in, search for services, and which are global trade, domestic, customs, insurance, the whole pack on the platform, like you would book a flight ticket and actually get the full scope of services. We are a licensed NVOCC in US, Canada, also in China and Asia. And we are back with full transparency, allocation, and rates. So exactly like you go and book a flight and you will have a seat on Ship4wd. If you book, then you have a space, you have a container. And in these days, or in the last 4 years, I think that was critical for
It
customers.
is critical. The licensed NVOCC helps you guarantee that, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because I was in maritime in Miami, a small carriers, tropical shipping. You've probably heard of them for the Caribbean. They're excellent.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was the difference with us. We were a liner, but we also ran an NVOCC as well,
exactly. Not
which is
everybody understand that, that difference, and they think that, any freight forwarder is an agent are the same, but actually no. So I think customer really need to understand that there is a difference between those that can guarantee those allocation and what they buy is not something, kind of fake, and they will try to get it later on. So I
yeah.
think that
Can
that is
you
a critical point.
can you do that, Carmen? Can you explain the advantage of the NVOCC in a little bit more depth than what we just discussed?
Yeah. So basically, NVOCC is responsible. Uh, we don't own the vessels, non-operating vessel, NVOCC, but we
Yeah.
are not OCC. In essence, we are selling what we have. So we're selling guarantee space that we have. And if we look at agents or freight agent or freight forwarders, they normally don't have that, right? So they get the booking and then they search to get that space, to get that allocation, to get that price. They do it behind the scenes, right? So most of the time the customer do not see it, but of course you feel it. It's exactly if you go and book a flight and then they tell you, sorry, but there is no space.
Yeah,
But it
exactly.
can happen after a few days when you're already committed and thought, okay, my shipment is actually going on and all okay. And then after a few days say, oh, there is a rolling, there is no space, there is no this, no that. And then you realize that you have an issue.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like in truckload, it domestically or truckload, and I'm not sure how it operates there, but here there are the freight brokers will accept and then put the load out there for bid to try and find the capacity to move it, and that's the same thing here. NVOCC is non-vessel operating common carrier, which means you have already guaranteed by purchasing space on vessels, on specific lanes, on specific launches, specific, and then you go and sell that space to fill it. So if you're selling a space, you already have bought it. It's already
Correct.
there. Yeah.
Correct. And I think this is a critical point because it's not something fake. And I think there is kind of, the assumption of people, especially with digital, that it's kind of, not real, or maybe there is a trust issue. But in our case, especially which we are part of a group, which is also a public group in NASDAQ, we don't do those things. So we actually guarantee allocation and space, guarantee the price up to 45 days. We allow you to enjoy both of the world of digital access to information, but also to asset. And I think this is the unique approach of Ship4wd in the North American market.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you bring up those other points, because those are big points as well. Not only is the space guaranteed, but that price is, because you've already purchased it, right? So it's not like it's going to change for you. So I would imagine that allows you to be a bit more competitive on the price as well, because your normal forwarder has got to bake into, we could lose $100 to $300-400 here or there, or services, the ancillaries, because there's all these little ancillaries around the international shipping maritime that can change depending on which liner you actually book it with if you're a forwarder, right?
Yeah, so the thing is, even is there impact to us or not, we don't move this impact to the customer.
Yeah.
Commercially wise. So we guarantee the price and the allocation once customer actually book.
That's fantastic.
And I have to say that, of course, if, I don't know, there is some change in the booking, change of service, change of origin, change of, I don't know what, of course there will be a change, but not on what you buy. What you bought online is what you will get. And that is very rare in our industry.
Yeah, no, it is very, very rare. So Carmit, how did you get into this? Did you grow up in the business, or were you just like interested in ship?
like everybody that is in this business, they're all doing the same thing.
No, there are those. Listen.
I never talk with somebody that dreamt
people either fell into it actually. You failed into it, you accidentally stumbled into it, or you were forced into the family business, is usually the three ways.
No, but yeah, you're actually right. Let's say I fell in love with it, but I fell into it. Actually, very young, when I was released from the army. It was my first job within logistics. It was with the Maersk agency that just opened up. And it's really allowed me to kind of grow in a very, very large organization, very, very fast. I was a shipping trainee. I worked in China, in Hong Kong, all over Europe, Italy, Denmark, Netherlands. I worked a lot with the US, and so I at least work with, I think, more than 40 countries and lived in 6 or 7. But in our business, it's kind of normal. Outside of our business, people kind of look at it with a strange eye. They cannot consume, but
I think it's a little bit envious. I think that eye is a little envious too, though, that you got to work.
Okay, you're right. But indeed, I had exposure, global exposure, and I indeed fell in love with it, and didn't plan, but that's actually what happened. I've been with the Maersk organization for 17 years, and after that, I realized there is so much more to do on the innovation side of the business, and I realized that the gap is actually with the small businesses. Because in majority of my career, I work with 500 Fortune companies. I was managing supply chains of, between Walmart to Nike to HP to those kinds, and they are great. And what I've learned there, probably I wouldn't be able to learn anywhere else. But then I realized that the actual gap in our business is the small to mid-sized businesses, that they are underserved and overpaying. And if we look globally, they really don't really have a good solution. So they need to kind of settle for much less. And then when I realized that technology can gap quite a lot of those situations, this is where I decided to focus all my learning and my experiences into support small businesses, and that's the reason to fund Ship4wd under the Zim group. We are owned 100% by Zim, and they had the same vision to bring services to small businesses.
So you are owned by Zim?
Yes.
Okay. So that's interesting because I ran into, they were a leader, I think, with Electrolux in utilizing blockchain and digital BOLs and commercial invoices, et cetera. Back in like 2018, I think they did a presentation at TPM here
Yeah.
In Long Beach, where I ran into them and started doing some work with those guys.
I
So
think not many knows that they are quite innovative. Maybe it's because the origin, but but really looking in a very innovative eye on the industry, or where they can play, and where they can support and combine technology
yeah.
into those
Let
types of
me
solutions.
ask you another thing that I wanted to ask you earlier about, being the NVOCC license status in so many locations, et cetera, and what you guys are doing, because booking the shipment is one thing, but then sitting in the dark for a month while you're waiting for it to magically appear at your dock is a bit stressful at times, right? So, and people are asking, where's the shipment? Where is it? Does that lend you to be a bit more efficient and a bit more accurate on the visibility side of things as well?
Definitely, people don't need to ask us. We push data to them, and I think that's what, for example, if we look at small businesses, right, and there is a situation, right, for corporate, like the ones I worked in also in the past, that everyone wants to serve small businesses, right? It's not like you don't want to serve, but you're saying, oh, the ROI game doesn't add up, right? Because I need to put so much effort on, let's say, less volume, so I better focus on the higher volume account. And this is all the time going, in runs and runs and runs.
Right,
And
right.
and conceptually, everybody say we service everyone, but in the end, the small business working with those type of companies don't feel that they are being served, or they are being noticed. And I think what we are doing is that we create a communication that push data to the customer all the time. So granted, some customers saying it's too much information, please, please take it down. But most customers actually appreciate that every 24 to 36 hours they're actually getting information, so they don't feel in the dark. Or they
Yeah,
can log in and seeing the information in front of their eyes. Of course,
yeah,
they can also approach us. We are accessible 24/7, which is another feature for Ship4wd, because when I look at small businesses and when they need to support their customer, their supplier from 9 to 5 maybe, they're doing booking on weekend and night and Christmas, and we are there for them. We are there to accept the booking. We are there to talk to them. We have 3 shifts. Like McDonald's maybe, and
yeah.
and we are there when they need us, and that's another point of really going into the mind and the needs of small businesses, and how to create a company or business model that support them, that hug them, even though it's so-called digital and not face-to-face communication.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's excellent explanation of it, and it appears to be like you're this buying power group. Like, if you go to a regular forwarder as a small business, that's a single shipment. But what I conceptually see with your setup and your operation is that you're consolidating all these small to medium enterprises and then making purchase power with all of this volume. So
Yes.
the pricing is a bit, the dynamics are a bit different. They're not really one off or two offs or, 3 TEUs or 4 TEUs here and there. It's thousands of TEUs but each buyer, each BCO maybe
Correct.
is
Correct.
yeah.
And to be honest, when you have a forwarder that come to visit you, the regular or irregular, that's a cost. A person,
Yeah.
that drive time, so on and so on. That's adds on. In the end, it's reached to the final customer, right? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that somebody will let's say lose money on you, right? So it's not a sustainable business model for small businesses, because indeed when a customer with 40 use register and log in to Ship4wd platform, he will get the same service as somebody with 100. There is no differentiation. He will be able to search, compare, right, be able to have life assistant and a person support him with his needs. He can ask all the questions he needs at any time, if it's 2 a.m. or if it's Christmas nights, if that's what he needs. He can log in and see all the shipments. So he get really, really upgrade service no matter how much he use or how much shipment he has.
That's fantastic. I may have to give you a call because I'm moving stuff from South Africa to the Caribbean. Can you handle that?
We are more in Asia to North America, but give
Rats.
me
Come on,
a
man.
call.
I need somebody who specializes in KwaZulu
But
Natal to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, man. That's not a major lane. I thought that was like a huge lane.
sorry for that. Sorry, but we will get there.
What is so? You know, obviously, we just there's been a change of administrations here in the U.S., et cetera, and people are talking, tariff wars and all this other kind of stuff. And everybody here, and I'm sure around the world, is trying to figure out where is the freight market move next. Everybody's trying to be prognosticators and figure out where things are going. What are you seeing? What is reality right now in maritime trade lanes across the world? And even if you can be a little bit more specific, if you have any insights into what is happening in North America. Majority of our audience is going to be North America. It does hit Europe, et cetera. But anyways, there's my question to you. Do you have any insights there?
Yeah, we are a player for North America, so no issue in that. It's amazing how fast you see the impact in the market.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing that the vessels are really blocked now. Almost 2 weeks ago, it was not the case. And we see that probably there wasn't anticipation that Trump will win, even though there was talk about very, very close, rivalry between them. But in the end, we are seeing, and what we expect, that capacity will be very tight till Trump will go into office in Jan. So our anticipation that rate will go up and capacity will be very tight for this period, because everybody anticipate that once he will get into office, there will be taxation and there will be a trade war between those entities. So right. My expectation is that indeed in this period, there will be a very, very tight space and prices will go up. But we are seeing already for, I would say, 2 years, a significant different approach of customers in the US. And I think it started with Corona, with COVID, when I think businesses got kind of scared and saying, okay, China decided to, a certain rules around COVID, zero tolerance and all that impact our ability to get our cargo, to get our inventory. And already from 2 years ago, we are seeing a shift of US customer looking to source from other countries outside of China. Right. A month ago, I've been in New Jersey with our customer that is very traditional China to East Coast, West Coast. And now I was asked about rates from India, from Turkey. So we are seeing this coming with more and more customers. that are looking for various origin to supply and get their cargo. And I think
Yeah.
that's something that probably will grow with time, even accelerated with Trump going into office.
Yeah, yeah, that's really interesting because it was you're right. I mean, COVID was kind of that spark or that recognition that but even since then, the ties, China, Russia, North Korea ties, the BRICS, I guess you could call it, right? Is kind of impacting that, I would say, a bit.
It's only getting, we say, worse or stronger. I don't know what word
Well, I mean, who knows if
would
it's
you
worse or
should.
not? But yeah, the movement is stronger. So what you're suggesting? See, I've always thought that as well. Is it wasn't really like the U.S. near shored; they just other than China shored, right?
But the near shore, in a way, when we're talking about near shore, we're talking about Mexico, which is one of the growth trade, like the biggest growth on trade happened in the last year was China to Mexico. And
Yeah, because
actually,
now U.S. thinks that they're right because we're getting yeah.
it's
We're
from
just it's
China
still China.
anyhow.
We're just
It's going to Mexico. So
exactly.
what we created is kind of kind of a game here that in the
Yeah, you
end
just put up
indeed
this nice filter, this facade in front of it, and say, "No, it's
the
coming from
really
Mexico. It's
facade
not
really
China."
it makes me crack because it's like yeah anyhow the biggest trade worldwide that growth was China Mexico, and we all know why. um the goods goes to Mexico, the raw materials get to Mexico, they're doing some assembly, right? They do something that will be considered made in Mexico, and then shift through the
Yeah,
border.
the denim trade, the 501 trade was on the East Coast, right? In the U.S., you send the denim down to the Caribbean, Haiti, etc. They sew it together. It comes back
Yeah,
made in America. It's
yeah,
called Made in America. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, we, the logistics people, we are the gray. We are behind the screen. We know how it works. For
yeah,
others, it's a surprise, but
it is.
for
I mean, yeah, it's amazing how much we actually know that's going on and going to happen,
yeah,
and I think a lot of people still don't realize just how much intelligence the logistics community has, the
correct,
supply chain community has. That's awesome
correct.
stuff.
That's why I fell in love.
I love it. Carmit, our time has blown by, and I don't want to take up more of your valuable time. I know you're CEO and chairman and running a big ship there, pun intended. So I really thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Really enjoy it. Thanks.
Excellent. Everybody, thank you for tuning in, downloading FEI. We'll see you next time. Peace and love, everyone.